Good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, or whatever time you're watching this. Hi, friends. If you've recently lost your job, Black women, or recently left your job, right, or are in the process of leaving a job or in a layoff cycle, maybe about to get laid off, hoping to get laid off, something like that, this video is for you. I'd like to talk to you today about the first steps I would take if I was in the position to start over, right? Because I am a person who has started over. If you're at all interested in finding a way to um, turn a joblessness into something good, a good starting point for yourself. We're talking fun employment, we're talking sabbaticals, we're talking a career break. If you're interested in changing the narrative or changing your mind about your situation, please watch this video. Welcome. My name is Stephanie Perry. I'm a house sitter. I'm the creator of House Sitter School, and I'm the co-creator of Exodus Summit. And I help Black women take a sabbatical or career break, bop around the world as a nomad, move abroad, start house sitting, any of these things while embracing ease. If these sound good to you, please take a second, hit the subscribe button on the channel. Please, if you're at all interested in taking a career break or moving abroad or traveling long term or house sitting or embracing ease, please subscribe. I'm asking nicely. Thank you. And then turn on notifications, ring the notification bell so that you'll be notified when I post a new video or when I go live. Welcome. Welcome, friends. Hey, Kimberly. Hey, Helenista. Hey, Diamond. Hey, Michelle in Norwalk, Connecticut. Hey, LaShawn ADHD Cutie on Single Mom Duty. Hey, Lori and Deneen and Amina. Hey, Chloe. Hello, Naughty Natural and Alta. Friends, you have to say good morning. Hello, Anita and Green TB. Hey, Shauna. I don't know if you know the rules, but the rules are you have to say good morning or hello. You have to give us a greeting. If you're watching live in the chat, you have to drop it in the chat. If you're watching the replay, you have to drop a greeting in the comments. It's the rules, okay? We only have two rules here. Two rules. We say good morning here, and we talk to Black women with loving kindness. That's what we do here. Okay. So speaking of talking to Black women with loving kindness, also wait 1 second. Good morning, Mom. Hi. I forgot to tell my mom that I landed in Johannesburg. I told her I always text her when I get on the flight, send her my flight number. And then I'm supposed to also text her when I get here. But when I got here, it was like 4 a.m., I think, in Delaware, something. And I was like, I'll do it at about 6 or 7 or 8. I think I said I'll do it at 8 a.m. your time, and then I forgot. Okay, so sorry. Sorry about that. I'm here. I'm in Johannesburg. I left Mauritius. I'm passing through Johannesburg on my way to Bermuda. We'll talk about that in a minute, though. Okay, but I was talking about speaking to Black women with loving kindness. Um, I just posted a video a few days ago about starting over after 40 or after 50 or after 60. How scary, how sometimes shameful it can feel, not be. It's not shameful, but we can feel shame about it. How we can feel humiliated, embarrassed about starting over after 40, after 50, after 60, after 70, after 20, right? After 30, anytime. And I posted a video just talking about why it is wonderful to be able to recognize starting over as starting over, because a lot of people who are in the position to start over don't recognize that. They see it as there's an end. This is the end, right? When you lose a job or you lose a house or you lose a partner or you lose something, a lot of times we see that as the end, period. And all we can think about is, well, guess I'll just lay down and die. Or, lay down, let 30 more years pass and then die, right? Instead of recognize that this is a time to start over. So I made a video about that earlier, and there were several comments, lots of comments. There were lots of comments on the video, but there were several comments that I wanted to address. The video was called, I should know this, something about for Advice for Black women starting over after 40 from a house sitter who has rejected Black excellence. I think that's the title of the video. I've already dropped that in the description of this video already. That link is already there if you want to go ahead and open that and watch that later once we're done, okay? Or you can watch it now if you're more interested in that. You won't hurt my feelings. But in the comments, I had quite a few comments about I just lost my job. This is right on time. But like, what do I do? Okay. So I'm going to give you some advice from me. Okay. I've told you this already. I'm a house sitter. You didn't see, I'm not a therapist. I'm not a life coach. I'm not a social worker. I'm not those things. I am a house sitter who has started over after 40 and is living a way better life than I was living before. The life that I was so not upset about losing, but so um, didn't even recognize that I could drop that life and start over, right? The life that I was so tied to. Man, this one is way better. So, this is the approach that I'm taking, okay? This is the approach that I would like for us to take today. What do we do if we have an opportunity to start over? What would my first steps be if I was starting over today? I started over in 2015. I was 41 years old. And almost 8 years ago, September of 2015, I quit that job, and that was the end of me working traditional jobs, except for a little piece, right? Except for 3 months. But that was, as far as I'm concerned, that was the end of me working traditional jobs. It was the end of me being a person whose job dictated my life. And so it was a real benefit. It was really, really beneficial to me to have that start over period happen when I was 41. Um, I had a lot of privileges and a lot of advantages that we're going to talk about today, and we're going to address what to do if you don't have those advantages. But I think let's get to it. Anybody here want to say that you are there? Anyone here want to say that you are at this point? You've just left a job, or you've just lost a job, you've just lost a house, you've just lost a relationship. Anybody want to say that? I didn't take any screenshots of the comments because time is funny. Okay, I posted the video and then I had to start packing to leave Mauritius. And, I'm still not, the book is still not ready for the world yet. And it's got to be ready in a couple of weeks. So, there's a lot happening. So I don't have screenshots of those comments, but I read at least 4. I pinned one, as a matter of fact. Okay, so let's get to it. Let me tell you what I would do today if I found myself in a position where I needed to start over. Okay. First thing I would do is I would embrace co-living. A lot of the comments were, I lost my job or I lost my house, and now my kid and I have to move in with my aunt, my mom, my parents, my sister. I would absolutely, absolutely embrace co-living if you are now in a position where you can start over. I happen to feel that paying for your own place to stay is a scam. It's not necessary. I've traveled to quite a few countries in the world, and I've seen a lot of people who live intergenerationally, and that's how it's supposed to be there. There's no shame, no guilt, none of that. Why didn't I do this? If you're watching the replay, I will link to Adelia's video on co-living. That I haven't linked to yet. I think part of it is because I'm behind on watching videos and I haven't watched it yet, but I know it's there and it will be watched. Picky Girl Travels the World is Adelia Aborshade, and she's got a video on her channel. No, I did watch. I did. I think it was a live stream. She's got a video on co-living, and I'm gonna link to it in the chat. If you're watching from the future, hello friends in the future. I did watch it because it was Angela. I did watch that video. I hope the future is amazing, friends. If you're watching from the future, this video link is already in the description. But right now, I'm just going to drop it in the chat and I'll put it in the description later. Yeah, though I did watch that video. I'm not as far behind as I thought. Yes, co-living is living with other people on purpose, right? Sharing accommodation with other people on purpose, right? It's not the same. So roommate to me means you're sharing a room. I don't know. Not everybody would be down to share a room. But some people will be down to share a house, including me, because every time I look at stuff in Costa Rica, so in May, I'm supposed to go to Costa Rica and find a home, find a place to stay, a place to live for a year at least, for 2 to 3 years, hopefully. And I keep seeing these 5 bedroom, 5 or 6 bathroom homes. I'm like, I hear golden girls in my future. So co-living is just living with other people on purpose, right? Sharing accommodation with other people. Um, this is the first thing that I would do. I would embrace it. The benefit, so this is a privilege that I had. When I left my job, I traveled around for a year on savings. I went to Southeast Asia, Australia, a little bit of Europe, came back, moved into my parents' house, where I still have a bedroom. It's a house I'd never lived in before then. I hadn't lived in that house. They moved into that house after I was already out in the world. But I got myself a bedroom in their house and moved into it. And I still go there when I go home. When I go to Delaware, that's still my room. That's still my place. It's still my place, my home, my room. And I embrace it. That's an amazing privilege. If you have someone who says, share my home with me, what a privilege. You know, I believe in taking advantage of advantages. If you have an advantage, use your advantage, right? Black people don't get a whole lot of advantages. Black people don't get a whole lot of privileges out here in the world. We have a responsibility, I think, to use the advantages that we do have to help lessen the gap, to help bridge some gaps. I think we have a responsibility to take advantage of some advantages. I read, this is the first thing I thought about when I saw those comments, and I commented to a couple of them like that. Let your community care for you. You're going through a difficult time right now. Let your community care for you. Your aunt, your mom, your sister, your friend, let them care for you. This is not a I have to. I'm upset that, I'm embarrassed that. This is a I get to. I have the privilege of. What an amazing privilege, because a lot of people wish they had that and they don't have it, right? Even if it's, temporary, even if the person is not like open arms, right? Use it as long as you feel comfortable and welcome. I believe in that. And I do that. Okay, I've modeled that for you. Okay, yeah, this is the first thing I would do if I had to start over. First thing I would do is lower my expenses significantly, and number one, I would embrace co-living. Okay, so I asked you for some um, uh, comments in the chat if anyone here is in this situation now. Yeah, April says all about Golden Girl Living. Yes, yes. Matter of fact, I'm supposed to reach out to someone as well. Desiree, are you here? Desiree, I believe, is also co-living. If you're here, Desiree, I'm supposed to be emailing you. Maybe you want to email me because, I be forgetting stuff. Email me, Stephanie@vicarious.com. MHK knows I enjoy co-living. I save a ton of money and I'm not lonely. Okay. Okay. Yeah, Chanel, I cannot live with other people, but I love the idea. If it's got to be done, it's a thing that people can do, even if you're not a person who this sounds good to. If you're in a position where you need to cut down some expenses, listen, do it for a little while, even 2 weeks, right? Like not paying for a place to stay for 2 weeks is hundreds of dollars, right? Or not paying the full amount for a place to stay. Maria, that's exactly what I did. Parents love to get their babies back. They do. I also saw something recently where a woman was like, she was in her 60s and she was talking about her regrets in her, no, it wasn't really about regrets, but it was about things that you miss. And she said she really misses having her kids under her roof, right? Which I could totally understand. And so listen, when I go back to my parents' house, first of all, I ask them to come pick me up, right? I'm coming home. Come pick me up. Did you buy my scrapple? When I go home, I'm home, right? Diamond, hi Diamond. I moved in with my parents, so this co-living has been great for me. I'm so grateful. Do it, friends, do it, right? Levon Hawkins says, yes, definitely agree, okay? Pisces, Pret. I left my job December 1st. I've been engaging with subjects I'm interested in, classes, but after next trips, I really have to figure out how to fund my life. Yes, need my own space, too old to keep living with parents. I would cross that sentence out. But yes, if you need your own space, you need your own space, right? Yes. Yes, Amina says it makes financial sense, but you need to be flexible. Yeah, you need to approach it as though it's co-living. This is not your house or my house. There's some things that need to be worked out. Zoe, who is Exodus Collective on YouTube and on Instagram, well, I think she's announced this. I don't know. I'm gonna say it. Okay, she's Exodus Collective. I think the Exodus Collective on Instagram and YouTube is working on some sort of communal living space in Grenada. She moved from the UK to Grenada, back to where her parents are from. And they're working on right now what are the rules, right? What are the rules? What are the requirements or the bylaws or whatever? How do we make sure that everyone is treated well and everyone is responsible and all of that? Yeah, right. I'm not saying just walk into somebody's house and it's going to be great. Yeah, think we all have to do some negotiation and some working things out. All of that, right? All of that. But this is the first thing that I would do. Okay, that's the first thing that I would do. I So we're talking about lowering expenses first. If you need to start over because of a loss, that's the first thing I would do, lower expenses. And so you know what's coming next. Okay, when we talk about lowering expenses, you know I'm gonna talk about house sitting. So the next thing I would do if I was starting over today is I would get started house sitting. If I was any type of way a friend to cats or dogs or chickens, or horses. Not all. You don't have to be a friend to all animals, but if you like a type of animal, right? If you're down with rabbits, I think I've tended to find that people who have rabbits also have cats, but there might be people who only have pet rabbits. Anyway, if you are at all a friend to some type of animal, I would start house sitting also to lower my expenses. House sitting is not only a thing that you can do to go all around the world. House sitting is a thing that you can do right in your own city. You can house sit and still get up and go to your job in your city if that's what you need to do. So that's a thing that I would also consider. It's not as easy to house sit full time, right? Back to back to back to back in some places as it is in other places. But if you live in a house sitting mecca, a house sitting hotspot, then I would absolutely consider it. Those hotspots are London, or the UK, UK, London, New York City, DC. I'm going to bop around. I'm going to just name a bunch of places all over Australia. Seriously. From Perth to Sydney to Melbourne to the Gold Coast, right? All over, everybody in Australia lives on the rim, right? But all over Australia, the Bay Area and Southern California, uh, Dallas and Austin, Chicago, South Florida and Central Florida and North Florida. I'll say Florida. If I lived in one of those places and I needed to seriously cut my expenses, I would house sit because house sitting gives you free accommodation. House sitting gives you a free place to stay, right? You still got to feed yourself. You still need your own transportation, one way or another, whatever that looks like. But that's what I would do. I would get my new house sitter toolkit, which is at housesit.vicarious.com/toolkit. And I would join Trusted House Sitters, which is the house sitting platform that I find my house sits through still. And I would get on that quickly, pronto, pronto. If you are in a place where house sitting, where you're not in a house sitting mecca. You're not in one of those places that I named where you can back in those places I named, you can house sit back to back to back to back to back. I've talked to women on this channel who do that. Uh, I wish I could that I talked to a younger woman in the Bay Area whose name will come to me after we're done. I've talked to women who house sit. Nadia actually did a house sitting I've done house sitting road trips too, but Nadia did a house sitting road trip because she had a remote job. She just house sat wherever. But I've talked to some women on this channel who have done back to back house sits, and those are the places where it's the you can do it, right? You can do it. In other places, it's going to be not back to back to back. So you'll either want the ability to go to different places, different cities, or you'll want to be able to afford a place when you need it. So house sitting and co-living can go really well together. They can go together really well because when you're co-living, maybe you need a week or two away, right? Maybe you need a week or two where you have the kitchen to yourself, right? The kitchen is my thing. My mom, let me tell you what Connie Perry be doing. Let me tell you what she does. Connie Perry will sit down on the sofa for hours and hours, okay? But as soon as I come down the steps into the kitchen, all of a sudden she got something to do in the kitchen. Like, I know this is your kitchen, ma'am, but can I be in here by myself for a few minutes? All in the way. All over here, over. I'm like, I heard you while I was while I was working. You were sitting on the sofa the whole time. You haven't been in that kitchen in 3 hours. Now, as soon as I come down the steps, here you go, right? If sometimes you just need the kitchen to yourself, go house sit, okay? Patty says co-living is my dream. I think, I don't know, based on what I see in Costa Rica, it might be coming for me too. It might be my next thing. Mitch says, I house sit back to back. I go between New York and the DMV. Okay? All right. Back to back to back house sitting is viable in those places. Rashni is glamazini. She says her husband does that. I'm like, girl, all in the way. I'll be like, Mom, what are you doing? Yes, I'm aware it's her kitchen, okay? But still, can I have a minute? Can I have just a minute? All right. So that is the expenses cutting. That's the first. That is the beginning of what I would do. Kemi says the same thing. Okay, so it's not just me. It's not just us. Ava loves communal cooking. I don't love. I don't love the cooking part. Okay, so I don't. I wouldn't. If you're about to email me about being my co-living housemate, don't expect. I don't. I'm not doing that. Okay, I'm not doing that. And LaShawn, I hope I'm getting yes, LaShawn, ADHD cutie on single mom duty. Also Colorado back to back house sit and pet sits. Short term, that's right. But the homes are huge and fabulous. Thank you. Yes. Yes, indeed. Yeah. So there are, okay, so Betty, Beauty in the Dark. Hi, Beauty in the Dark. How long are the average house sitting assignments? In the US, they are relatively short. Most people in the US travel for about 3 to 7 days at a time. So we're talking short, but you will find longer house sits. I've done 2, 3, 4, 6 week house sits inside of the US. If you're able to house sit abroad, then people travel for much longer. Unless you're talking Florida. In Florida, those retirees also have a lot of time to travel, and you can find long-term house sits in Florida. The real solution is just to look. Look on trusted house sitters. You can look before you even have a membership. And gauge. You can look and gauge things. We're coming into house sitter season from Easter. We started already from spring break to mid-April, right? When for spring breaks are happening now for people. So this is a house sitter season, and then the summer house sits are starting to pop up as well. June, July, August is also house sitter season. So you can look around and see how long house sits are and see what it looks like. But abroad, house sits are generally longer than local, or the average house sit abroad is generally longer than the average house sit in the United States because we got to work all the time. We don't have that kind of free time. I just interviewed Diamond, who is the gallivanting grandma on this channel about her experience house sitting. I've already linked to that video in the description of this channel, in the description of this video. So go to the description, click on the description, and watch that video if you have questions about house sitting, okay? So these are the two ways that I would right away lower my expenses. Words Move Poetry says she's in Central Florida and welcoming a co-living partner because she's gearing up to travel a whole lot in 2024. So I don't know. Here's the thing I don't know. I don't know if there's a space where people post their co-living needs, like Trusted House Sitters, right? Trusted House Sitters is a place where people go to find a house sitter. I don't know if there's this thing for co-living. What I would do is I would get inside of Exodus Summit, the Exodus Summit Facebook community, and I would find my co-living person there. I would go into I would go to a local meetup or create a local meetup, meet with some local women, and let them know that this is a thing that you're interested in. If it's not one of them, it may be someone that they know who can refer you to a person to co-live with. Okay, that's what I would do. Okay, we talking about what I would do today. Okay, I'm in the here's what I would do mood. So that's what I would do if I was a Black woman looking to co-live, because that's what I'm gonna do when I get to Costa Rica. And my mom's packing for our trip. We're getting ready to meet up in Bermuda. She's packing, so she missed what I said. When I get to Costa Rica, and them 5-bedroom, 6-bathroom houses keep calling my name. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna find somebody inside of Exodus Summit and be like, "Hey, friend. Hello, friend. You want to go half on a house with me?" That's how I would do it. I scrolled past it. How is house sitting in Mexico? Good. Good. They're usually a little bit longer because house sits in Mexico are usually with retirees. See, Blue Waves is asking, what about Panama? Go to Trusted House Sitters. I'm not kidding. My affiliate link to Trusted House Sitters is here. So if you want to use this link to get there, use this link. Okay? Use this link. Go to Trusted House Sitters and scroll around on the website. You'll see. You'll see what's there, right? House sits are varied. Right? We're talking about the average length, not the definite length. But look around Trusted House Sitters and see what's there. They don't keep those things a secret. Adelia is co-living. Okay. Yes, it's all coming back to me. It's all coming back to me. Adelia and Ivana are co-living. They are now in one apartment, and we live alone together. Okay. Both of them travel a lot, or Delia be going, right? Both of them have their own lives. They did not need to be paying individual rents, right? Yeah, okay. So I'm scrolling because I thought I saw someone mentioning a place to find people. Yeah, create the platform. JP says somebody just created. That's right. Yeah, Lisa Williams. She finds that homeowners are open to house sitting because squatters are seriously actively looking to squat. The squatters have formed. Now, we talking about, is there a platform to find a co-living partner? The squatters have galvanized. Squatters have mobilized. All right. I don't know if this is true, but it seemed like based on the number of news stories I see popping up, squatters have organized. Okay. And so yes, people are looking for house sitters more. I think house sitting it's house sitter time, right? It's our time to shine. It's the house sitter's time to shine. Naughty Natural. I've been avoiding Facebook, but I need to join the Facebook group. You do. The Exodus Summit Facebook group it's going to be your favorite place. Excluding our YouTube channels, okay? Excluding our YouTube channels, you're going to love, love, love being a member of the Exodus Summit community. There are a whole bunch of events, a whole bunch of meetups happening over the next few weeks. Spring has sprung, right? And y'all are ready to get out the house. There are meetups happening. Yeah, it's worth it. It's worth it. Nobody loves, listen, Black women are not in on Facebook like that. But it's just the easiest, we're going to do the easiest thing. Facebook right now is just the easiest place for our community to live. But yeah, yeah, join us. It's worth it. It is worth it. I don't get on Facebook except for that. That's the only thing I get on Facebook for. Okay? Words Move Poetry says great idea. I'm full of great ideas. Listen, let me share some more with you. Let me share some more great ideas with you. Okay? So we talked about lowering the expenses by house sitting and or co-living. Okay. So this is some next I'm going to give some advice for people who need money now. Okay? This is not sustainable advice, but this is for somebody who needs to eat today or this week, right? Cambly is a site where native English speakers can tutor other people in English, people around the world. You can tutor adults or children or both. We're talking $10, $12 an hour. We're not talking about this is money. This is something you're going to want to do forever. Although there are people who have done it long term. Kim S. I think she's still tutoring people on Cambly. She's done it for quite a while because it's not her main jank. It's not her only money. But it's a thing that will get you paid every week. Okay, so tutoring people in English on Cambly is the next thing I would do. I know this because it is the thing that I did do. When I was in South Africa in 2017 and my virtual assistant business wasn't making any money and I needed a little money and my birthday was too far away for me to be expecting birthday cash, my birthday wasn't coming, right? I got on Cambly and they paid every Sunday, I think, every week. I think I would guess it's still the same, right? I would guess it's still, you get paid every week on Cambly. Cambly is the kind of thing that is scary to get started. But once you find out that, oh, it's just people who want to practice their English, right? They don't expect you to teach. Even with the kids, they have like a curriculum. But they don't expect you to be a teacher. They expect you to be a native English speaker who can have conversations with people online. It's less scary. And then, like everything else, once you do it, you feel more confident. Cambly is Cambly. I put a link to Cambly in the description of this video. So if I needed cash right now, like this week, in a week, right? And $10 or $12 an hour would tide me over. That's the next thing that I would do. That is in my money now bucket. And what else have we done? Christine, so you may, oh, well, I don't know how long ago it is. You may need to reach out to them. Things can fall through the cracks. You may need to reach out to them. Anybody here has anybody here done Cambly? I'm looking. Okay, JP, currently waiting for them to approve my profile. Okay. Yeah. There used to be quite a few companies like that where you could tutor people in English, but they were Chinese owned, and China and the US don't get along like that. And so they stopped, something happened. I don't know. The rules changed. And so a lot of them are no longer available, but there may be others. So Cambly may not be the only player in this game, right? Cambly may not be the only platform where you can tutor people in English and get paid every week, but it is one that I know and I have used. And I made a video on it. I have a video in the description of this video on Cambly. Okay? It is not sustainable, I don't, as your main money, unless your expenses are very, very, very low. And most of us can make better money doing something else, right? Most of us have a skill set that will make it easier to make better money, okay? But if I needed money in a week, that's what I would do. Adelia says China made it illegal to teach kids English online, basically. Okay. All right. So, but that's what I would do just for money. I need money now. There are other things. Anybody come have anything else that you want to share? Like where you know that a, an average person can get approved and get paid, in a week. Feel free to share it here. Okay. All right. And then the next thing that I would do is I would look for some um, more sustainable money. Libria Jones is the creator of the Remote Ready Bundle. Libria Jones has a platform called Quit Commuting, right? And her resources help people, including women in this chat today. Her resources help people find remote work and like truly remote work, like I don't care where you are in the world kind of work. So that is what that is a thing that I would do to find something more sustainable. Because you know me, if you're out of a job, I don't know that I would want to look for a job where I have to go into work, right? My next job is going to let me be anywhere in the world. If I lose a job, my next job would be location independent. But that's just me. But I would get in on those resources, the quit commuting world. There's a whole, she has a whole lot of resources. So I linked in the description and I didn't save that here. So let me go into the description and put that here. Analytics. Okay, Miranda's given us some ideas for quick money. Quick money is just sell some stuff. Sell some stuff, right? Content. Let me get that link for you right now for the quick commuting resources from, oh, I forgot to put it there. I put it in the other video from Thursday. I hope I did. I'll have to find it. I'm sorry. I thought for sure I did. I can at least give you her Instagram, the quick commuting Instagram. So that is a thing that I would do to get a more sustainable, location independent money. Is I would use the resources that Libria Jones has created specifically for that purpose. Copy, paste. Okay? So quick commuting is the next thing that I would, or a thing that I would consider. I'm sorry, y'all know I can't do this. I can't. I'm trying to talk and type like I'm some sort of coordinated person. Okay, I just dropped it in the chat in the description as well for those of you who are watching in the future. What am I saying? Yes, if I need some sustainable income, I would consider looking for a truly remote job. And you don't have to be in any specific field. You don't have to be. You don't have to do any one type of thing for this to work for you. Okay. All right. Okay. How are we doing? Okay, I linked. Her name is Libria Jones, but I linked her Instagram here. Her Instagram is quit commuting, quit_commuting. Okay? Her resources will help you. Okay? Use them. If you can't, she's got free resources. She's got her YouTube channel. She's got her Instagram. And then she's got paid resources. If you need the money together to get the paid resources, listen, get on Cambly, right? Seriously, you can make a little money on Cambly this week or next week. It's Saturday, but you know what I'm saying. All right. So that's the thing that I would do. And then I would, speaking of looking for sustainable income, I would consider ways to make money that are not a traditional job. I think we've had enough of traditional work. I think Black women in particular, need to kick traditional jobs to the curb because they are not going to do right by you. Most of them, almost all of them. Okay? Your job is not going to compensate you well if you're a black woman. It's going to compensate you very poorly compared to everybody else. Your job is going to expect you to be the superwoman, the DEI. Well, I was going to say they expect you to be the DEI expert, but now they're just getting rid of DEI altogether. But they are going to demand more from you and give you less. And so I would look for ways to not have a traditional job anymore. Okay? What did I do? And what do I do? I started with house sitting plus virtual assistant work. I started out house sitting and I became a virtual assistant. And like I said, when I needed some money and it wasn't time for birthday money from my parents, I got on Cambly. Okay? Virtual assistant is a way that you can use your skills but be the business owner, right? Not have to give the majority of the money to a middleman. An employer, when you have a skill that is portable, a skill that people will pay you for directly, it's okay to want to cut out the middleman. The middleman can be helpful at times. The job can be helpful. The job gives you a steady paycheck. And some people get a steady paycheck without doing a whole lot of work, right? A good, sizable, steady paycheck without doing a whole lot of work. The job finds the clientele for you, right? You don't have to go out and recruit the clientele and do the service most of the time. And so if these things sound better to you than being out on your own, it's okay to keep a traditional job. Okay? I'm not here to talk down on people who choose to work a traditional job. I'm here to talk down on the traditional jobs. Okay? I want to be very clear on that. I am talking down on the jobs, not the people who have them. I miss having a steady paycheck, even though my paycheck was never. I, I, I'm making way better money now, but I wish. No, I don't. No, I don't wish anything. I'm making better money now, but I do. The paydays were fun. Okay, paydays were fun. Get to ball out for a few hours. And I miss having coworkers, so that's why I started co-working on my second YouTube channel. I have a second YouTube channel called Stephanie Perry Media, and we do some co-working over there because I do miss having coworkers. So I want to say again, I'm not here to bash people who enjoy working a traditional job. I'm just here to bash the job. Okay? The way they treat us. Okay. But the thing I would do is I would look for a way to make income without a traditional job. So I was saying, I was a virtual assistant, and now I am a YouTuber. My YouTube channel pays me. Okay. My YouTube channel pays me. I am a coach. I teach or have a product called House Sitter School for people who, once they get my new House Sitter Toolkit, and join Trusted House Sitters. They want a little more support to help them get their first house sit, right? They don't feel like they're making traction. I have House Sitter School. I have a YouTube challenge called the YouTube Success Challenge that's happening April 22nd. Vicarious.com/challenge is how you get on the wait list, where I teach people how to grow a YouTube channel to help support a business or something, or just for fun. You can just grow a YouTube channel for fun if you want. These are the things that I now do for money. So when I said most of us can take our skill set away from a job, cut out the middleman, and just make money directly from the clientele, that's what I do, right? So I recommend it. I'm not here to tell everyone that entrepreneurship is the way to go for you because, it's quite all right to be like, no, 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 I'm not really interested in entrepreneurship. Okay? I understand that. It's not for everyone. I understand that. Okay? But if you think it's for you, that's what I would do. Now, if you're in a place right now where you're without a job or about to be, I would look at ways to create sustainable income without having a traditional job. Okay? Okay. All right. Some ideas, freelancing, being a consultant. If your job already hires freelancers or consultants or pro tem, what are they called? Not pro tem. What's Joanna? What's Joanna called? When the doctor goes from place to place, the doctor is independent, like travel nurses, but doctors. Anyway, if your job brings in people who don't work for the company and they get a say on how long their contract lasts, where they go, what work they take and don't take, I would work on making that my next move. If you still like doing the work. If you still like doing the work, that's a thing I would consider. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Contract, but the doctors are called, all I can think of is pro tem. Locums. Thank you. Locums tenens. Locum tenens? Locum tenens? Something like that. Y'all know. Oh, thank you, friends. Thank you. Okay? Yeah. All right. That is a thing that I would consider. Locum tenens, something. Traveling, something. Okay? Consultant, contractor, freelancer, virtual assistant. These are ways that you can take your skills into the free market right now. I just got to meet Sierra, who is expat Sierra. I just got to meet expat Sierra in Mauritius. She's a virtual assistant. She's from the DMV. She's from the DC area. She now lives in an island in the Indian Ocean, and she's a virtual assistant. We talked about what I'm gonna tell you what we talked about because I think there's enough room that we don't need to worry about competition. Okay, I gave her a lovely, brilliant idea. Sierra's previous work experience is in administrative work. So what I told her was instead of being a general virtual assistant, I would be a virtual assistant who helps business owners implement AI tools. I would help business owners use AI in their business. And then if they're not, once you teach them, they don't want to do it for themselves, then I would offer done for you for a premium price, right? I send 4 newsletters every month when I'm on schedule. Okay, 4 newsletters every month. I send the Vicarious newsletter, which is about house sitting and sabbaticals. I send the Exodus Summit newsletter. I send the Social Stephanie newsletter, which is about YouTube channel growth. And then the Patreon newsletter is about to kick off, right? 4 newsletters every week. I think I said every month. 4 newsletters every week. Okay? Once someone teaches me how to use AI, how to tell AI, right? I use a thing called Claude. It's like ChatGPT, but cuter, right? Use Claude. Once somebody tells me how to teach Claude how to write like me, a good portion of that work is going to be done much quicker, right? Instead of it taking me an hour each, it's going to be done a lot quicker, but I need somebody to teach me how to use Claude to its fullest potential. If I were in the virtual assistant space today, I would start to specialize in something using AI or teaching people how to use AI in their business. A very specific niche. I would teach a very specific group of people how to use very specific AI tools for a very specific result. Right? Claude is your boy. Teresa. She said, Claude is my boy. Yeah, I like Claude so far. I did a newsletter. Which one? Which one? I gave Claude some things. Write a newsletter for me. I need to explain these 3 things in this newsletter. And I used it. But I reworked it. But I am a better editor than writer. I'm a good writer, but I'm a great editor, I think. Right? I'm better a rewriter, I guess is the word. I'm a better rewriter than writer. And so I let Claude write the first draft, and then I went in with the second draft. Took me a lot less time, right? But I still don't know what I'm doing, and I still don't know how to prompt it very well, and I don't know how to use it to its fullest potential, right? If I were working in the virtual assistant space today, that's where I would specialize. I would learn it, and then I would teach it. Yeah, I like Claude. It's cuter. I don't know if it's better. Honestly, I don't know if it's better than ChatGPT, but I definitely like the way it looks. So that's what I would do if I had a skill. If I knew like there was a specific group of people that I wanted to serve, I would niche down really, 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 really small. And I would teach a very specific thing. The thing that I did wrong was being a general virtual assistant. I didn't make any money. And that was the end of that. Okay? Okay, so non-traditional jobs. This is not an exhaustive list, right? The freelancer, the consultant, the virtual assistant, the locum tenens, the whatever. That's not an exhaustive list. You know that, okay? But I would look at ways that people make money to live their lives, and I would start working on one of those things that is sustainable. Okay? All right. So the things that seem unrealistic are also realistic if you have time. If you have time, a YouTube channel is a viable way to make money. If you have time and you want to teach something on YouTube or do something, or create something, entertain people even on YouTube, it's realistic if you have time. So now let's switch and talk about people who have the money today. You're without a job, or for some reason today, or you've lost something today, and you have some money. Okay? My advice to you is sabbatical. Lean into not having that thing. If it's a job, lean into not having it. If it's a relationship, lean into not having it. One of the ways that I tried to like make lemonade out of not having kids when I was 40 and 41, and when I was like, this sucks. I don't, right? For me, I'm talking about for me being 40 and having no kids, I was like, this sucks. I don't like this. I didn't choose this. I don't want this for me. And I said, well, here's what I'll do. I will live right now in a way that I probably wouldn't be able to live if I did have the kids. And that's when full-time travel became my way of life. Real gag was when I got out there traveling full time, I learned that people with kids do it too. But I didn't know that in the beginning. I didn't know it. So um, my way of trying to make something good out of a situation that I didn't want to be in was that. Um, so yeah, lean into the thing that you don't have anymore. If you have the money to take a sabbatical or a career break, please be without work as long as you can. Calculate how much of your life you have committed, dedicated to work. Not hypothetical. Seriously, calculate how many hours, how many years. You don't have to do by hours. How many years of your life have you worked? Don't you deserve one of those in your prime? Not as a child, because kids are dumb, right? Right? But now, when you're in your prime, don't you deserve one of those to just be for you? Some of y'all are going to work 50 years of your life. Does 1 year where you don't work sound that ridiculous? That's not a huge ask. So, if you got the money, use the money and sabbatical. Okay, so we're on that step now. For those of you who have the money, use the money and sabbatical. You can use that time, take some of that time after you get some rest, and then some more rest, and then some rest again. You can use some of that time to work on a more sustainable way to make money in the future, right? But if you have the money to not work for months or years or weeks, please don't work. Please, please, please. Okay? So, what do I mean by those of you who have the money? I'd like to run through a not exhaustive list of ways that I have seen Black women afford to not work for weeks or months or years. Yeah. Okay. Here's my list. Add more, please. Okay. Black women are using their homes to make the money. Okay. One thing Black excellence did do for us is Black excellence did get Black women in that real estate market. Okay. So use some of that money for your sabbatical. I don't care if you sell your home or rent your home or Airbnb your home. Use that home to make it a money. Okay? That is a investment vehicle just like anything else, right? If mutual funds are a legitimate investment vehicle, so is your home. Use some of that money. Okay? So your home, your retirement money. Okay. Who says your retirement money only has to be for the end retirement? Why can't it be for a mid retirement, right? Why can't it be for a mini retirement as well? A mini retirement is what Tim Ferriss calls it. I call it a sabbatical or a career break or a grown up gap year. I call it a lot of things, right? Who says retirement only has to be that? Who says this is not also retirement? And that money is your money, just like it's just like it's going to be your money later. It's your money now. Now I don't know about the penalties. I'll take a penalty. Okay, I'll take a penalty. I think some things are worth it. Okay, but use your money. General, so your home, your retirement money, general savings, right? Savings that you've put aside for just emergencies or something, use it. Disability income, including like well, some people get paid medical leaves. You need to be careful about travel when you're on certain types of leave from work, okay? Don't get your money took. If they're going to be watching you, do it the right way. A sabbatical at home is a sabbatical, okay? You ain't got to be in the Caribbean to sabbatical. But some sort of, I just put disability income, but something, right? A leave, something, okay? That counts. Another way women are funding their career breaks is spouses. Let your spouse float y'all. Let your spouse support you. Y'all can take turns. Take turns. Who did I just talk to? I done too many interviews. My interview number and age are increasing to a point where I'm no longer remembering people that I talked to, even if I just talked to them. I feel like I just talked to someone whose husband had already taken a sabbatical. And she was like, "Oh, I don't want to." And then finally she was like, "I want to take a sabbatical." He was like, "Okay, good, about time." Okay, take yours. And then I'm going to take another one, right? We're going to keep doing it. Let your spouse support you. Kiva is a woman on here who is DIY. She's a DIY and interior decorator person. And she had surgery and she's married. And she's a Black woman. She's in her 20s, I believe. And Kiva something. DIY with Kiva. DIY something. And she had surgery. And she was bandaged up for a while, couldn't do a whole lot, couldn't reach up, couldn't, for a while. Is married. That child was on YouTube crying about being a burden. I'm like, girl, let your spouse support you. Right? And she's married to a woman. So women are generally more helpful people anyway, right? I know your wife is being helpful and not even complaining about it, right, girl? Relax. Let her help you. And this was just a few days, right? She was only convalescent for a few days, just crying. Oh, I'm not used to people having to do things for me. I don't want to be a burden. Girl, go lay down. Let your spouse support you. Right? We're ending. So this is the end of my list. We're ending where we started. Okay, we're ending DIY with KB. Thank you, girl. Right, we're ending where we started. What we started with was moving into a co-living situation or letting people take you in. So we're ending with the same sentiment. Let people care for you. I will never forget the tweet that I read that opened my eyes. This young woman said, "Stop screaming self-care to people who need community care." And I took that personally. Stop screaming self-care at people who need community care. What we need is community to lift us, to hold us, to support us. Octavia Rahim also taught me this during Exodus Summit 2023. Feel the support. Relax into the support. Let your support you. If I was a person who right now lost my job or left my job or was starting over, I would let my support me. Okay? I'm never gonna forget. I have the tweet somewhere, and every now and then I go back and look for her name. Uh, well, I gotta drop her some. I need to find her, send her some Cash App money or something, right? Stop screaming self care at people who need community care. Okay, Golden Girls me. Golden Girls me. Okay, we're starting where we ended. If I was in a situation today where I was starting over, where I felt like I had lost something, where I felt maybe ashamed or guilty or felt bad about it, the first thing I would do is lean into letting my community support me, whatever it looks like. Okay? If you don't have that community, let me point you to the internet. Relationships that you form on the internet count. They count. When you are doing something new and against the grain, you may very well need to create new community, new relationships, new friendships with people, because the people who were in your old life, who I'm not saying cut them off, but what I'm saying is they know that way. They know that way to do things and they know that version of you. And if you want to be a new person who does things a new way, you might need new community, new friends, new people. So get on the internet. This right here, you're in a good place. This is a good start. Okay? This is a good start. You see women in this chat right now who are friends, who have met each other through this chat. Okay? Start there and take it off of the internet. Or I don't know, you can keep it on the internet, but I like to do little in-person meetups as well, right? But start there and form real relationships with people who you have decided are going to be your mutual community care gang. Okay? Chanel says, stop screaming at people, period. Right? Leave us alone. Leave people alone. Let people do what they want. Stop screaming at people anyway. Yeah, okay. Maybe I'll find it and send it in a newsletter. Get on my newsletter. I'll find it. She was just a young girl. I don't recall her being like an activist type person or any of that. She was just a girl who tweeted a tweet, and the tweet was heard around the world. Because when something resonates with people, it spreads. Maybe I'll send it out in my newsletter. My newsletter sign up sheet or newsletter sign up form is at vicarious.com/newsletter for this one of 4. Maybe I have a screenshot. And I think I have the tweet and the Instagram screenshot. I'll find it. I'll send it out. Yeah. Yeah. The God honest truth says, my friend and I were talking about a Golden Girl situation when we retire. Some of us may have to try this sooner for support. I say so. Listen, the Surgeon General of the United States said we're in a loneliness epidemic. Fight against that. Just like you take steps to either treat or not get diabetes or high blood pressure, you need to also take that loneliness into consideration. You need to have a plan for it to either not take hold or for you to fight it, or fight loneliness. What do we want to say? Cure loneliness, solve the problem, unlonely your life with intention, right? I take that seriously. Commute. Okay, listen, take it seriously. Michelle says like-hearted. That's cute. Like-hearted. Yes, find like-hearted community. Yes. Okay, I'm not saying that you have to drop the people who are already in your life for new people. I don't mean that. I mean expand your circle and make sure that you get people in your life who are into the way that you're into doing things now. Because it's probably not going to be the same people. People aren't there. People don't just automatically change when you change, right? People don't automatically grow just because you're growing. So expand your circle, enlarge your territory, and add in some people who get it. Get in community, okay? I told you a couple of times today about the Exodus Summit community. You'll love it, okay? It's worth getting on Facebook if you're okay with that. It's worth it. And that's a place that I would start. Well, here, right? You're here already, but that's the place that I would go next. Okay? Okay, so that's my info. That is what I have to say to those of you who are starting over. For those of you who are leaving, in particular, leaving behind a job or have been fired or lost a job or quit a job or about to get laid off or something. These are the things that I would do. Okay, I'm gonna run through them real quick. I would first lower my expenses by co-living, letting my community support me, and house sitting, right? Then if I needed quick cash, if I needed quick money today, I would get on Cambly, right? We're talking $10 or $12 an hour. This is not sustainable. I'm talking for those of you who are like, I need money this week, right? To tutor people in English, okay? And then I would work on a more sustainable way to make money. If I lose a job, I would make it my business to not have my next job be a job that requires me to be in any location. I love location freedom. For some of you, this isn't a big deal. This is me. We're talking about my list, okay? My list would include me having a job that gave me location freedom, and so I would get in on the quick commuting resources, and I would find a truly remote job, a job that does not care where in the world I work from. I would find a truly remote job using the quick commuting resources that Libria Jones has put together. And then I would work on ways to do something for find some non-traditional way to make money. A way to make money that is not a traditional job, not remote, not even remote work, right? The remote job would be good for now while I built something different, okay? And I want to say not a traditional job, but you don't have to build a business. It can just be investing. We're like not just, but like investing or something. I would find a way to make money that didn't require a job at all. Even if it was work, not a job, if that makes sense, right? Authorship counts. Okay. And then we talked about and then I said, if I had the money right now, if I'm laid off, if I'm fired, if I quit, and I have some money right now to not go back to work, I would not go back to work. I would take a sabbatical. I would turn it into fun employment. I would turn unemployment into fun employment. I would not go back until I got to go back, right? And then we talked about where women get this money from. Where the women who do take weeks and months and years off, where do they get this money from? From their homes, renting or selling or Airbnb or something else, right? From their homes, from their retirement money, because many retirements are also retirements, right? We can retire more than once. I was in the Wall Street Journal and she called me retired. Okay? We do what we want. Okay? They get from their home, from their retirement money, from other savings, other money somewhere, something. They get the money from disability and stuff, disability type things, stuff. They get the money from spouses. They let their people support them. Let their support actually support them. That's not a complete list, but that is a partial list of ways that women make sure that they use their time off. They take that time off. Their time off is time off. Okay? Okay. All right. How long have we been on here? I don't know because I'm in a different time zone. I think we started at 4 and it's 5:11. Okay, that's short, right? That's short. Okay, how did I do? Anybody? So we only had a couple people raise their hand and say right now that they are not work, that they're out of work recently, right? Recently out of work. Was that helpful to you? If that's you in any way? And do you have any questions? I know. So Naughty Natural, you can still view the Wall Street Journal. You just have to make a free login. They let you view a couple articles for free, unless you've already hit the number. They let you view a couple articles for free if you just create the free login. That's what I did. Let me tell you, when they interview for stuff like that, you don't get the article. They don't send it to you. So I just created a free login with one of my many email addresses. I have a lot of email addresses. So I just used one of my email addresses and created the free login. But then I'm going to have to remember to go back and unsubscribe because my inbox, listen, the way my inbox set up, I can't be doing that. I can't stay subscribed to stuff. The article is called Here's What Retirement Looks Like for Single Women in America. And there's the link. All right, so there's the link. You can watch. I mean, I read it for free just by creating uh, a free login. Okay, Naughty Natural says I'll just use another email. Yeah, that's what I did. Yeah, they don't give it to you. That's how they do. I appreciate the reporter though. She was very nice, and I would not be surprised if she quits her job sometime soon. I think she's the first reporter I've ever talked to who, no, maybe the second, who actually works there and is not a freelance writer who writes for different platforms. She is a Wall Street Journal reporter. And listen, she was fed up with them people already. So I wouldn't be surprised. She was very, very kind and very nice. The article that she originally wrote, my part, she read my part to me a few different times. The first version she wrote was really thoughtful and wonderful. Wonder. I was like, man, I sound amazing, first of all, and this is really good. But they cut her space over and over, so she kept shortening it and then shortening it again and shortening it again. So now it's just a few sentences that y'all already know, right? I gave her a whole lot of new information. I told her things that I've never said on this channel. She did a really, really thoughtful story on me. Maybe one day it'll be in the world somewhere. I don't know if they're allowed to do that. But the editors were like, nope, you only get this much space. So she kept cutting and cutting and cutting. Every time she had to cut it, she would read it again for me. But that one version of it where she really did a good job of putting together a bunch of pieces that even I hadn't connected about how I was in debt, not crazy debt, but in debt because and shopping because of the losses and the grief, and how my career break, or what she calls my retirement, um, was not healing, maybe healing. She didn't use the word healing, was a way to work through all of that. Anyway, she did a really good job, but that's not what you see. When I worked for Barclays Bank, We had a community service project where we wrote a book. We went into a high school, got and teamed up with high schoolers and wrote a book for elementary schoolers. We wrote and illustrated a book for elementary schoolers on money, some sort of money book, right? So I teamed up with these two boys, high school boys, and they dropped out. So I wrote the book myself. I wrote a book for a kindergartner, kind of like a stone soup book, right? But it was about a baseball. One kid had money for a baseball, one had money for a glove, one had money for a bat, right? Um, but then by the time it went to the editor, she destroyed my. And then a high school girl illustrated it, right? But by the time it went to the editor, she destroyed the book. She made it so many words. I'm like, a kindergartner cannot, because it was supposed to be the kids would then come to the bank, come to us. The class would come, and we would sit and read this with them in 30 minutes, and then go on and do some other stuff. They would go to different departments in the bank and do other things. But my teammates were so happy that I had written this book, and they all picked it for their kids, and they were like, Stephanie, we couldn't get through the book. I'm like, I know, my editor destroyed my thing. That editor destroyed my book. That's not what I wrote. My book was like, John likes baseball. John asked his parents for a baseball bat, right? Like, she wrote a dissertation. Anyway, what was I talking about? Editors, something. Oh, right. So I won't be surprised if she's not there this time next year. Okay, okay. Yeah, it was a wonderful outreach program. I can't remember what it was called. Mm-mm, I don't remember. They put my book in the Wilmington Public Library and everything. It was a wonderful thing that we did. Um, Back to it. Back to work. Back to work. Okay, so how did I do? What I'm asking you is, how did we do? Ivor Holt. I quit my job as a teacher because I could no longer keep going to the doctor after always getting sick from the students. I needed to hear this information. Okay, good. Any ideas for virtual employment, please? Teachers can teach now. If you still like teaching, you just don't like the kids in the classroom. Teachers can teach anything. Okay? Teachers can teach anything. Teachers are very good at pivoting. Teen Zekis, who spoke at Exodus Summit 2022 and 23, is a teacher who pivoted into tech because people liked that she could teach people things. And her book, I don't know what her book is called. Teen Zekis is on Instagram at, let me get her Instagram. I think teachers can pivot to teaching anything, including things that will pay you much better. If you still like teaching and you just don't want to be in the classroom. So let me get your Teen Zekis's info. Okay, this is her Instagram. Sandra's a teacher, right? So Sandra retired from teaching, retired early from teaching, and now teaches people how to trade, how to day trade, and maybe other types of trading. I'm not savvy enough to know. I know day trade. I know that she teaches day trading, but she may teach other things too. Teachers can teach anything. Adelia is a retired teacher who now teaches you how to get your money right, how to move abroad, how to reclaim yourself, right? Teachers can teach anything. I don't know if that's helpful to you because it means you have there's a lot that you could do, but you can marry something that you're into with teaching that thing, right? Michelle Fox says, I had her teacher as my podcast manager because I knew she was a quick learner and good with details. Yeah. Okay. So the world loves teachers is what we're saying. This means that there's a lot of options, and sometimes a lot of options is not helpful, but I don't know if that was helpful. You can teach teachers, if you like teaching, you can teach anything. And so find something that you like and teach that, right? I don't know if that was helpful. Exodus Summit 2022 was all about making money. Move Abroad Money was the theme of Exodus Summit 2022. And we had speakers come in and talk about ways that you can take your skill set and make money. Okay. That is at exodussummit.com/2022. Okay. I would go there and look around. If I was a person who had a little time to try some new things, and some skills, I would go there and look around. Look at the sessions that are listed out. We had freelance writing, we had feet pics and phone sex, we had travel, like travel, running a travel business. We had paid newsletters as a way to make income, um, coaching and infopreneurship, teaching online. I always forget a lot. We had a lot of sessions, right? I taught YouTube, right? I would go there and poke around. I would go there and poke around. Hi, Rashida. Hi. I did not. Do you, friends? Okay. Uh, okay. So Exodus Summit. This is what we're talking. That was Exodus Summit 2022. I'm going to close this blind. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Let me see. How's that? Better. Okay. That was Exodus Summit 2022. Mara says, yeah, I almost forgot. Yeah, go back. I would go back there. There's a full list of sessions. If any of those things sound good to you, buy the replays. They're still available at exodussummit.com/2022. Watch that session and a couple other sessions and get started. Okay? Get started. Yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing. Danny, are you here? Danny, I'm not sure. Danny goes back and forth between Barbados and the U.S. I'm not sure what Danny's been up to lately. Yeah, it's a thing. People pay her good money to write, and she kind of wrote scripts and stuff. For she did a lot. It was a whole business. But what I really remember is $3 per minute was her income. That's what I think. Wasn't it $3 per minute, y'all? And there's 60 minutes in an hour. That's what I remember from her session. $3 per minute was her rate. There are, just like there's a trusted house sitters for house sitting. There are platforms out here that make it really easy for people who provide some sort of sex work or virtual sex work to get connected to clientele quickly, right? It's a thing. It's a thing. There are men out there who are, or people, men, who are throwing their money. This is how I know. This is how I know that when Marissa Price just interviewed me on her channel talking about charging not enough and stuff. When you hear how much money people are willing to spend on stuff like that, then I know there's money out there. There is money in the world. We are not in a money shortage, right? We may need some redistribution of the money, but there is money and it's out there, right? Because people, I believe her starting rate was $3 per minute. And then they could a la carte some stuff. I also want some pictures, right? And she would just subcontract subcontract the pictures out to other people, right? She's playing the role of a redheaded secretary named Patricia, who lives in Oklahoma, right? And then the dude is like, okay, can you send me some pictures? Sure. She goes and finds a model and says, I'll pay you X amount of dollars. Here are the pictures I need. A whole industry. It's a whole industry out there, and things are really easier. I don't know about easier. It's easier to connect. It's easier to get clientele. Whatever you do in the world, it's easier to get clientele in 2024 than it has been. Okay? Yes, Michelle. Feet pics. I'll be doing that next. There's a set. The Exodus Summit session is there. Okay. Okay. So Sunny Seven says, I don't want to teach anymore. I'm tired of working, very draining and burnout. What other virtual jobs can we do? A lot. Okay. This is why I said get connected to Libria Jones. The quit commuting resources that Libria has put together, that's there for you. A lot. Anything that pretty much, listen, if doctors are remote, right? If doctors are virtual today, a lot of things are virtual. One of the sessions I forgot to mention from Exodus Summit 2022 was social work. Um, Sojourner, Sojourner W did a session on being a remote social worker, right? A lot of things are remote. Aw. Also, Danny from Barbados. Maybe you'll get to meet her, run into her. Okay? So, yeah. Is this a sign, girl? Get yourself to Barbados. I will be in Barbados in December, I think. Right now, I'm planning on being in Barbados December. I sent an email out with my schedule, my travel schedule for the year as I know it to be now, and told you, friends, where we can meet up. And I believe I will be in Barbados the weekend of December 6th, or it might be the 13th. It's not, neither, that's not on here. I don't know. One of the first two weekends in December, I plan to be in Barbados. Okay. All right. So, Danny, meet me there. And maybe we can find the other Danny. 3 to 8. Kemi says $3 to $8 per minute. Okay. That's what I heard. Okay, that's what I remember. That's my takeaway. $3 to $8 a minute. I happen to know that there are 60 minutes in an hour. That's what I heard her talking about. Okay. Night flirt. Night flirt is one of those trusted house sitters of. Night flirt is the trusted house sitters of phone sex. One of the trusted house sitters of phone sex. Okay. Yeah, so people used to say that to me when I was younger, Mara. I used to when I worked for one of the jobs I had was at Barclays Bank, and I started in the telemarketing. I started in telemarketing back when it was called MBNA, when I was at Delaware State University, and if we were selling to women, I was an average seller. If we were because we did affinity cards, the NEA, National Education Association, the Aircraft Owners and Pilots Association, the American Dental Association, right? If it was men, the ADA, the dentists, the pilots, oh man, them credit cards were flying off the shelves. People used to say that to me too when I was younger. My voice, it's changed, I guess, because people hardly ever say anything about my voice now. But they used to be like, oh my gosh, your voice. I could have cleaned up if I had known then. If Daddy had been around then, I could have cleaned up, right? Yes, Easter weekend. Listen. We do what we do. Okay, we do what we do, right? Um. Okay, and then okay, she also did one more. Okay, we're gonna get off the sex work topic because I'm not informed enough to tell you too much. All I can do is repeat what I remember her saying 2 years ago, right? It's better just to watch her session. But she also said that there was financial domination. FinDom is a form of sex work, virtual phone sex work. FinDom, men pay you to financially abuse them. Okay. All right. So after telling y'all to make $10 or $12 an hour on Cambly, maybe there's a better way. Maybe there's a better way. Okay. Earthly color brown. It's a thing. $3 each minute. You keep them online for an hour, and it's a $40 plus tip. And you just have to do not disturb if you have to walk away for a minute. $99 and 45 minutes. Okay. Right? Okay. So after wasting y'all time talking about gambling, now now we get into the real deal. Now we get into the real deal. Men also buy panties, bras, socks, fingernails. I've never heard that fingernails. Ugh. Listen, men are terrible people. I don't know. Is that wrong? Is it wrong to judge people for their? We're not supposed to judge people for what they're into. So maybe I shouldn't say that. They're terrible people in this respect. They're just terrible, period. But not because of that. Maybe they shouldn't be. Maybe I shouldn't call them terrible for that reason. Okay, yes, you can buy Exodus Summit 2022 still. You can still get the replays at exodussummit.com/2022. Make sure you put the slash 2022 on the end. If you end up at exodussummit.com and it's the 2023 summit, there's at the top and at the bottom of the page, there should be a link to get over to 2022. 2023 was about location freedom, financial freedom, and time freedom. I'm not saying ignore 2023. Look at the sessions and see if they're interesting to you. But if you're asking for 2022, they're at exodussummit.com/2022. Okay? Yes. We share good info over here. Good info, good info. Okay, I was going to read, yes. Okay, so Rashida and I went live inside of the Exodus Summit Facebook community on a day, I think it was Thursday, and we announced when Exodus Summit 2024 is. And then Frances was kind enough to make a save the date and put it on Instagram where she highlighted STD, which I think is hilarious. Thank you, Frances, for making the graphic for the save the date. Exodus Summit 2024 is a virtual summit happening online October 12th, 13th, and 14th, all day. Also, with probably a little welcome session on October 11th. This is Indigenous Peoples Weekend or Columbus Day weekend. So hopefully you're not working, but if you are, you need to go ahead and request that time off now. Do what you need to do to clear your calendar for the weekend of October 12th, the evening of the 11th through the 14th. Go ahead and get that calendar cleared off now. Save the date. This year, we are at a really significant time in history for this country, for the world, and we have no reason to expect the presidential election season and or the next inauguration to be good, to be a safe place, to be a time that we would want to be in America. I expect that y'all don't want to be here for that. So Exodus Summit 2024, right now, the planned focus, I should say, not theme, the planned focus for Exodus Summit 2024 is getting Black women out of the United States before the presidential inauguration. Whether you're talking about a permanent move or a short-term move, something in between, the focus of Exodus Summit 2024, the focus, our goal, as we see it right now, is getting Black women out of this country, that country, I'm not there, getting Black women out of that country before that next inauguration. Okay? And so what you need to do now is save the date. We don't have any wait list yet. We don't have a place for you to sign up yet, although you can get on the newsletter. exodussummit.com/newsletter is a place where you can sign up for the newsletter to make sure that you do see the announcements when it's time to register, when it's time to do this and that, right? When it's time for a call for speakers, all of that. But what you need to do today is take that time for yourself, right? If you have a child or children or spouses or someone you care for or caregive for, find alternative options for them for that weekend. If you have a job that would expect you to be there, make sure that they don't expect you to be there for that weekend. If you have some other obligations that you normally do for that weekend, cancel them. Okay? You want to be inside of this summit for that weekend. Okay? Now, Russ said it's called Give Us Free. Okay, that's what we're doing. That is the focus as of now. This is subject to change. Okay, but this is our plan. Our plan right now is for that to be the summit focus. Okay? Okay, that's it. Thank you, Rashida. Okay, Missy. Okay, we getting our fin down businesses up and running. You can vote for where from right. Kat just said you can vote from wherever. You don't need to be in the United States to vote. Most people. Adelia does come back to vote. Adelia goes back to Texas to vote, but she ain't got to do that. Okay. If soldiers who are stationed in soldiers who are at war vote in elections. Okay, you don't need to be in the United States to vote. Frankly, you may not want to vote. Okay, because what this is one of the things I told y'all, and I did an Instagram live the other day, and I said there are a couple things, probably three things I don't really talk about here because I would lose people. I would lose more people than I would gain. Okay, but I'm gonna tell you one of those things. I have opted out of voting in the United States presidential elections. I've opted out of it. That's my choice. Opted out. I've decided that for myself. But you can be wherever you want. You can be wherever you want. But who you gonna vote for? Who you gonna vote for? All right. I probably have there are three. I would say three things that I've not talked about on this channel, and that's one of them. Right? Who? All right. So, but you can do it wherever. Soldiers actively at war vote. Soldiers who are actively at war can vote. You can vote. You can be in Mexico and vote. Okay. You can be in Costa Rica and vote in the election. Okay. Now Texas, Adele, you said Texas makes it really difficult and not fun, not a fun process. So she just flies back in. You're welcome to do that. Right? Do what you want to do. Do what sits right with you. Frankly, I don't. I wish somebody could instruct me on how not to pay. I don't want them to even get my money. I'm so sick. I'm so sick. I don't even want to pay my taxes. I don't want them to have my money. I don't want my money to go where it's going. I'm over it. I wish I could completely opt out. I don't have the means to. I've never felt like, what is the word? What did Tina Turner do? I've never felt like doing that until very recently. But I don't have the means to do it. And my parents are in the United States and all of that. But my money right now is killing children in Palestine. My money. I've opted out. But you decide this, you do your thing. You live your life, right? I'm not saying everything that I do is what I think about. I be thinking, I be deciding, I be doing, right? Because I got to live my life in my body, in my mind, in my brain. I need somebody to instruct me on how to protest when it's time for me to send that tax check in. Because that's where my money's going. That's my money. Them bullets, I bought those bullets. Those babies that we see, My money did that. Your money did that. You do what sits right with you. And everybody changes. Maybe tomorrow I'll be like, "Oh, I think there's a better way." I may. Maybe tomorrow I'll listen, I think there's a better way. I think that, voting is the answer. I think Joe Biden is a good person. Maybe. Okay. There's one thing. I don't know. I wish somebody, yeah. So I never considered renouncing citizenship. I'm a U.S. Army veteran. I get some benefits of being a U.S. citizen, right? I think I would lose my little disability money. I've never really considered it. Not really. Never considered it. I always heard about Tina Turner. Never considered it. Because it just didn't. It's not all that. It wasn't that necessary. But God damn. My money is killing children right this minute. I don't have the means. I don't have an alternative option. I don't, it's not, I'm not here to tell you I'm renouncing my citizenship. I'm telling you, I wish I could. I would give it a thought. I would give it I would give it some consideration. Maybe still wouldn't do it, right? Maybe I still wouldn't do it. The US passport is helpful. Maybe I still wouldn't do it, but I would think about it. Okay. Let's get back to the FinDom. Let's get back to the FinDom talk. Let's get back to the FinDom. Tracy said they're even backlogged with people renouncing. I need somebody to organize, just like someone organized the voting protest. Not none of the above, but you know what I'm talking about. The voting protest. I need somebody who organized this tax protest. Because I've paid for that. And continue to pay for that. I don't have the I don't know how to do things. I don't know how to organize it. I don't know who would be the person. But you tell me who's organizing it. I'm joining it. Okay? That's my money. That's my money doing that. That's your money. You're paying for it. You're paying for it. Listen, I think if there is an organized protest, some people will go to prison, but not everybody. They can't imprison everybody who protests. They can't. If I don't know. Vote for who, Angela? I don't know, girl. Angela ran the Baltimore Poor People's Campaign. Angela is involved in, or was involved in, organizing and stuff. All I know is that's our money. We paid for those bullets. We paid for those bombs, those grenades. We paid for them. We bought them and continue to buy them. I'm opted out. right, friends. Okay. How do we turn this back? How do we turn this around? Huh? All right. If you are today starting over in some way, particularly because of a job loss or leaving a job, yeah, job loss, whether it's voluntary or involuntary. I think that these are the things that these are the things that I would do. If you miss the things, go back, watch the replay, start from the beginning. I did a good, concise job. The first, it's only maybe less than an hour where we ran through the whole list with like resources and stuff. That's pretty good for me, right? Now the other, how much time has it been so far? Okay, now the other 45 minutes has been some other stuff. Okay, but that first is less than an hour. Okay, with a full list of things that I would do today. And then also, I want you to go back, if you haven't already, and watch the video that I published on Thursday called "For Black Women Starting Over After 40, Advice for Black Women Starting Over After 40 from a House Sitter Who Has Opted Out of Black Excellence." It's a good video, okay? It's a really good video talking about the mindset. This today was about the actual like tangible things to do, but Thursday's video was about the mindset, about how to change your mind about things, how to change your mind about this time in your life, and how you can actually make this a start over instead of an end. When we lose things, it's natural to consider this an end only, an end period. But you don't have to just lay down and wait to die. You can start over, because that's what life is. Life is starting over again and again and again. That's what I think, right? And so you're at some point you're gonna have to start over. Might as well make it now. So that video I think is a really helpful video to talk about the mindset stuff. And today's video is talking about the actual steps, the actual tangible things. Okay? Okay. Okay. How are we? How's everybody? Somebody please. How are y'all, chat? How's everything? You still like me? Are we still friends? Let me know. I'm in Johannesburg. I left Mauritius this morning, got on a plane, flew to Johannesburg like that. Boom. I'm in Johannesburg for the tomorrow, for the day, not all day tomorrow. I leave tomorrow evening and I fly to Bermuda. It's a really, I'm going up to Newark, New Jersey, and then down to Bermuda, where I am meeting some people you might know to get on a boat. We're getting on a boat in Bermuda. Um, and that's going to be super exciting. So make sure that you follow us on Instagram. I'm Vicarious on Instagram, and Rashida is Sheeta D. Follow us on Instagram because I haven't talked to Rashida about this, but she's a good uh, content sharer. Um, I think it's gonna be glorious. You talking about you about to see 5 Black women being pampered and treated well, and all in luxury on a boat in the middle of the ocean. I think it's going to be an amazing time. I'm really looking forward to the service, the pampering, the luxury that we're about to experience. Next level. I expect it to be next level, right? You know me. I got real beef with the hospitality industry. I got real beef with the hospitality industry, but I expect this to redeem the whole industry. I expect this to be amazing. This cruise, I expect it to be amazing. So make sure you're following us so that you can see it, right? Dr. Joy Harden Bradford from Therapy for Black Girls spoke at Exodus Summit 2023, and she introduced us to the idea of the possibility model. If you like a little pampering and a little luxury, let us model that possibility for you. Okay, and then just do it. Do it. Okay, don't let people keep modeling things for you. You actually have to do it yourself as well. Okay, I think it's going to be wonderful. All right, thank you so much. Okay, all right, all right, all right. We're still friends. Okay, thank you, thank you. Listen, you don't have to agree with everything I say to still be here. Okay, you don't have to. I promise you. Yeah, stay away from the Bermuda Triangle. I promise you don't have to agree with everything. Sometimes when I quote other people, other channels, I say, I don't know, right? I'm not saying everything they do I like, right? I just like them for this thing. It's okay to just like me for the sabbatical, move abroad, career break stuff. You don't have to like the other stuff, okay? If you want to hold on to Black excellence, hold on. If you want to keep working hard, if you want to stay a hard worker, stay a hard worker. Okay. You don't have to buy in to everything. This is not a cult. That's how I know this is not a cult. Okay. I promise. That's how I know. Because you can pick and choose. All right. Some stuff you can be into and some stuff you cannot be into. Don't let the stuff you're not into keep you from experiencing the stuff you're into and getting support with the stuff you're into and doing the stuff that you're into. Okay. I told y'all. So when I told y'all on Thursday, I did an IG live and I said, there's three things I never talk about on my channel. Okay. And now I just broke one of the rules. Okay. But I probably will never talk about it again. Okay. Diamond says we're friends for life. Okay. Thank you. Thanks, Corrine. Thank you. Okay. Best friend. Okay. Thank you, best friend. Okay. Good. All right. So, next Saturday, then we're going to be on a boat in the ocean. I expect, because I'm expecting top level luxury, I'm also expecting the internet to work for us. I'm expecting the internet to work and I'm expecting to be back here live on Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern time. If it doesn't happen, it's because the internet was like, we can't do that. I don't have that kind of juice. Okay. You're not getting that kind of luxury. But I expect, it's 2024 now. I expect that we'll be live here again Saturday, 10 a.m. Eastern time. Remember that I do send an alert 10 minutes before I go live to let you know. So if you want that alert, make sure that you sign up to get it. It's a text alert. So what you do is, if you want an alert from me 10 minutes before I start my live stream, text the word YouTube to this phone number that I'm about to drop in the chat, okay? All you have to do is text the word YouTube. You don't need to do anything else. Text YouTube to 888-403-4465. 888-403-4465. If you text the word YouTube to that phone number, then you'll get a text alert from me 10 minutes before I do a live stream, all the time. 90% of the time. Okay. Okay. Thanks, y'all. Thanks, y'all. Okay. So have a wonderful Easter. Happy Easter. Book, book. And that's it. That's it. Have a wonderful Saturday, wonderful Easter. Thank you so much for being so kind to each other. Thank you for being so kind and patient with me. Okay? Remember, you're not supposed to treat people better than you treat yourself. Okay? That's not, I'm not telling you to treat us worse. Okay? I'm telling you to treat you better. Okay? Other people shouldn't get better than you. They shouldn't get better treatment than you get. So make sure that just as patient and understanding as you are with me, be that patient and understanding with yourself. Okay? All right. Bye, friends. Happy Saturday. Bye, guys.